What's good, everybody? What's good? It's Big Game James, man. I'm in these streets, and we in these Mike Fisher streets. You see, he's in them streets. He's walking, doing his little daily little run. Appreciate you taking out your time of your busy schedule, Mr. Fisher, to take this time for a quick little Cowboys talk. So, before anything, how you doing, sir?
Outstanding. Of course, I wish I could run, but it's an old man walk, is what it is.
There it is. But let's talk about, because I know you've been at OTAs. You're the man in these streets. You straight dope. Let's talk about it. So before anything, I want to talk about Jalen Ramsey. Is these rumors this June 2nd? We hear about he could be the cut. Cowboys are rumored to be involved, possibly. I don't think so. But tell me, is there any truth to this Jalen Ramsey thing?
There is no credible word from inside this building that the Cowboys have even made contact there. So, this, as you know, this is a never say never business, and we're always wise to CYA and cover our ass here. But the last time I checked, which was, I don't know, 10 days ago, there was no Cowboy movement in that direction. That doesn't mean, by the way, that, first of all, it could change, but it also doesn't mean it's a terrible idea. I think his $4 million guarantee has already been paid. I think there's escapability after this year, so it's a $72 million contract, but in theory could cost you $21 million for a one-year rental. So I'm not saying that's a terrible idea. I just have no evidence at this moment that it's a Cowboys idea.
Got you. Now, what about this Trevon Diggs thing? We've seen it in the media about his rehab. He's done made a YouTube channel where he's doing his rehab. We've seen the back and forth. I made a video said I think it's the beginning of the end for Trevon Diggs. Can you give us any information on that front?
We do have to go back to Jerry Jones's public comments suggesting, and Steven has said it too, basically saying he needed to do a better job in his last rehab. And some people have said that's the Joneses throwing him under the bus. I think it's the Joneses basically going public and saying, we think you're a star player. We paid you like a star player. We need you to do everything you can to be that. So I like to think of it as it's a carrot on a stick, encouraging him to get things done. Having said all that, if you cut him, you gain whatever it is, $7 or $9 million of the room. I'd rather have the player than have $9 million for the room. Now, I'm not going to have the player for the first half of the season, but I don't need $9 million for the room right now. I don't need $7 million for the room right now. I can go do all kinds of things to gain cap room, including, by the way, signing Micah Parsons. If I really needed cap room really bad today, I'd just sign Micah Parsons, and that would gain me $11 million for the room. So I don't see I don't see the advantage of saying goodbye to Diggs at this point. Same thing with trade gossip. If you want to trade Trevon Diggs because you think he's done or out of gas or isn't coming back, well, why would another team want him? So there's nothing here that's a match in terms of some urgent idea. Again, this is me talking as much as it is the Cowboys. Some urgency to do something on Trevon Diggs. I don't think there's urgency except for him in rehab, where, as you say, according to his videos, it looks like he's getting after it, and that's a good start.
Right. Now, let me ask you this on the last part of the Diggs thing. More so this year, I wasn't thinking this year, but on the next year end, do you think that if he comes back and plays good, it's going to be a continuous thing, or that's a still option after 2025?
If he somehow comes back and is Diggs the way he once was, then he's going to the Pro Bowl. If he comes back and it's just never going to be the same, then after the season, I think this is your point. Now you can get $12 million worth of cap room by saying goodbye to him after the season. But I want to, if I'm the Cowboys, I want to see him rehab. I want to see him play. I want to see him deflect passes and get interceptions and have a chance to be himself before I make some drastic decision.
Totally right. Now, a couple more questions and we're done here. Defensive tackle, that's one of the biggest things we've been talking about for years here with Dallas. Obviously, they drafted Jay Tayoa from UCLA. They got some guys, but we're missing a one take. They were talking about after June 1st, they could be scouring the waiver wire for potential training camp cuts? Is there anything on the front with a defensive tackle in the future?
I think that one of the things that they perennially do here, we get to training camp, we realize we're a little short, so they call, Linval Joseph or somebody like that, who I believe is still available. But defensive tackle and cornerback, very similar in their position. They want to see what they have, and you mentioned the UCLA guy. There are scouting people, Todd McShay and others, who think that he was the best run-stopping defensive tackle in the draft. So if that's even close to true, and of course, first of all, it does beg the question: then why did he go in the 7th round? But teams don't super value run-stopping defensive tackles. But he certainly has the build, the attitude, the numbers, the reputation to be a helper. If you get a 7th round rotational player as a rookie, then you've hit on something there. Obviously, Mozzie Smith is still the guy that needs to get better. And inside the building, I know that the fan base has developed kind of a dislike for all things Mozzie. And that comes with being a 1st round pick that hasn't become a star. But I talked to Mike Zimmer about this not long ago. He said Mozzie's fine. Not Mozzie's great, but Mozzie's fine. So Mozzie's an NFL player, and that's what he is. They need him to be a little bit better. And then, if the UCLA Bruin can come through, then they can fix one of the things that's been broken around here for a long time, going all the way back to that Rams playoff game, where the Rams didn't have any running backs. So they went down to Home Depot and hired a couple forklift drivers, put them in the game, and they rushed for 200 yards. So that's been going on here for way too long. Should the Cowboys invest big money in a run-stopping defensive tackle? We can make that argument, except, that salary cap pie, there's got to be some, and they, here they traditionally aren't going to spend big on, we all know, a run-stopping defensive tackle. They don't spend big on safety. And now they've turned around. Coming up soon, they're going to be spending big on offensive guard times 2. And so you can't have 53 Pro Bowlers, but I think Cowboys fans, I think it's fair to say that they would like a little more competency at one technique.
Got you. And as we kind of round it out and finish it off with this, once again, Frisch, thank you for taking out your time for me. But this is a 2-part question as we end it. One, on the running back front, we've been hearing a lot of great things from Javonte Williams. I'm saying that he's going to get the first crack at it. Kind of what's your thoughts about him, or, as a whole? And then, Michael Irvin forever. He's been really hyped with the Shoddy thing. So I kind of want to get your thoughts on Shoddy as a whole. And, what's the feeling around the building as we end this?
Yeah, the running back situation, I think you're right. Javonte Williams, he's the guy with the most skins on the wall. He's been an NFL starting running back. He can do pass protection. He's got wiggle. He's outstanding at catching the football. That's a very logical first-team guy. And you wish that you didn't have to do it by committee, because usually that means, it doesn't mean you have 4 good running backs when you play 4 good running backs. Not usually. But obviously there's some excitement over Jadon Blue from Texas, who's basically predicting he's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. That doesn't happen very often. Running backs don't usually win that. I think you got to go back to like Saquon Barkley time for that kind of thing to happen. But some combination of those 2 guys, I guess goal number 1 would be at running back to be better than they were last year. And obviously, Dowdle was okay. Zeke was something less than that. Can they be better than they were last year? And I would throw this in too. Miles Sanders, and I think I can speak for Cowboy fans here who remember him in an Eagles uniform. Every time he touched the ball when he played for the Eagles against the Cowboys, as a Cowboy fan, you held your breath. He was that guy. I don't know that he's far removed from that. So I think that competition will be really fun. And then the Schottenheimer thing, people have kind of accused me of, throwing a bucket of cold water on this, and I don't mean to do that. I understand the excitement, and I share in the excitement. He seems like a hell of a guy. And I will say in defense of the hire, even though the Cowboys didn't exactly do a worldwide search here, what they basically interviewed, 2.5 guys or so. The Jets, with the general manager and the coaching vacancy, I believe interviewed 50, and the Cowboys interviewed 2.5. But in the end, if we go back a decade or so, Ben Johnson's a hot candidate this year, and Aaron Glenn and Kellen Moore. Well, Schottenheimer was a hot candidate 12 years ago. He was Ben Johnson. So in theory, what if he's still merits being hot like he was, but now he's got 12 more years of experience. So I think that can be a plus. But there's nothing new under the sun when it comes to motivation and psychology. So let's play ping pong and let's do paintball and let's buy a Whataburger for everybody. I think all that's cool, but I just would caution Cowboy fans because yes, you're right. The building is energized by all this, but they were also energized when Mike McCarthy pulled out a mallet and smashed a watermelon. And they were also energized when Jason Garrett said, if you make this field goal at training camp, we're all going to the beach. And all the way back to Jimmy Johnson taking the team to the hot springs in Austin. So we're not reinventing the wheel here. We're just trying to reinvigorate not only the Cowboys in the building, but maybe Cowboys Nation too. And Shoddy, so far, so good on both those counts.
And I totally agree. I did a show yesterday, Mike, and I love Shoddy, but I said the same thing. Mike McCarthy was breaking watermelons. Jason Garrett was doing his thing, and I love it. But until you get wins, it don't matter.
I mean, you did you ever coach? You probably coach kids or whatever.
Yes.
I mean, yes. I did for years. I did all this same stuff. If you score a touchdown on this play in practice is over. If you of course, I'm so old that when we used to play in high school, if you had a good practice, they let you get a drink from the water hose. That's how old I am. And if you won a game, you got half a popsicle. Right. But yeah, these little motivational games and the psychology games, they matter. They're important. But I want to see them play well against the Eagles before I make the announcement that everything is fixed.
Totally agree. Well, I really appreciate you. I'm about to go and jump on another interview. I thank you for your time once again, Fish, for your great information. If you don't know Fish, please go to his stuff, the Fish Report, YouTube, all that good stuff. He's the man out in these streets, and I really appreciate you, and you continue your great walk today, big guy.
Thank you. CowboysCountry.com, of course, is where you can find us. And then now I'm on TikTok. I don't know what I'm doing, but it's incredible. So Fish Sports Cowboys on TikTok. I think we got on there a couple of days ago, and we got 1,100 followers right off the start. So come join that party and educate me as to how the hell we're supposed to do it.
Hi, I got you. Appreciate you, dog. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right. So great interview by Fish right quick. I'm about to go off right now, and I'm about to bring my guy Emery Hunt from CBS Sports. That interview goes on at 11:30. So I'm about to go off right now. Come right back. Please check it out. Emery Hunt is a great guy. He's got football game plan. Been doing a lot of great things in these streets. He's going to give me his quick thoughts on the NFL draft for the Cowboys and their outlook as they go heading into 2025. And then after we do that interview on the late night, we got my guy from Trench Warfare, Mr. B-Tuck. He did train Osa Ogadazua, all them guys, and we're going to talk to him on the late night. So be right back. We're going to do it. We stay in these interview streets, dog. Peace.